I'm Bob. I like coffee. I also like to tell stories. So, here at the Bobcast Coffee, it's time for a coffee break. So, take a coffee break with me and pour yourself a cup of your favorite Joe. By the time you're done with your coffee, you'll know something about me you really didn't need to know. But you'll have fun learning it. Just remember, my stories are true. For the most part.
Hey, welcome back to Bobcast Coffee. Time to have a coffee break in a new coffee mug. It's from The Chosen, The Three Fishes. It'll be interesting to see how the third fish comes out in post editing. Today we're doing episode 70. So today, episode 70, the cost. What that is if you've made it this far and you've heard most or some of the other podcasts, you realize that I've done a lot of things in my life that I wish were made up, but they weren't. So, did I ever kick a moving tank? Yes, I did. Uh, did I ever, drive a mountain bike off the side of a mountain? You bet. Did I ever fall off the side of a mountain and roll through a cactus patch in Arizona? Yes, I did. There are so many of these real life stories, and you say, well, that can't happen to, all of it happened to one person. No, it all happened to one person. And today, I'm here to show you why or what is the price of all these stories. This little piece of paper is something my wife has put together, the lovely Linda, and it is a list of surgeries. Is it complete? I don't think so. All right. When I was a small child, I'm thinking 5 or 6, somewhere in that ball range. I think I was about 5. I kept having tonsillitis over and over and over again. Doctors finally said, we got to take those tonsils out. So at a young age for getting your tonsils out, I got my tonsils out. Not a pleasant weekend for Bob. A whole summer of having tonsillitis over and over and over again, and then get your tonsils taken out. But I didn't have tonsillitis anymore. I just had a lot of strep throat. Hey, wait a minute, isn't that the same thing? Well, pretty much, yeah. So that's my luck with surgeries. Get ready for it. So 2000, I believe it was in 2000, I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. That was a fun year, getting that all set up. Then 2002, I got into a little bit of insanity. Let's just call it that. I don't know what the boys had done to make me so mad, but I screamed and yelled and just got too much. Too much of the evil Bob, not enough of the understanding Bob, and I ripped a vocal cord. You say, well, that doesn't sound pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all. So when it healed up, it made a nodule on the vocal cord, which has really ruined my singing voice. Yes, I had one of those at one time. But I had to have that nodule removed. That was really, really a tough time. Haven't had a surgery in years, decades. And now all of a sudden, there I am back getting a nodule removed. All right, maybe it'll clean up. I have a chance of getting my singing voice back. A little bit, but not really. 2004, Remember, I'm a sleep apnea. I've got the CPAP machine. Well, my CPAP machine is barely doing a job. It is cranked up to full steam and not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. So doctor says, well, we're gonna roto-rooter out your nose, rhinoplasty. And rhinoplasty it's fun to say. It is not fun to have. So what they do is they basically break up your nose up in here, put everything back in place, and impact your face, put some splints in, and bingo. You heal up, your nose is better. Did it work? Absolutely. Was it fun? Absolutely not. So first visit after I've had the surgery, I've got the stupid little bandage holder, head piece that I got to wear, and I'm constantly changing out gauze because my nose is still bleeding for days. And I go into the doctor and he says, "Hey, everything's looking really good. Let's get the splints out." I said, "Fine." He goes, "We'll get the packing out and we'll take the splints out." I'm thinking, splints coming out does not sound like fun. I have no idea, I wasn't awake when they went in, so I got no idea what's up in my nose. But he's going to take the padding out and then go in and get those splints. So I'm laying back in the chair just in his office. And, he puts a hand on the side of my head like that, right? Holds me back, grabs that, the bent prong little pliers that doctors use, whatever that's called. And gets up there, grabs a hold of the gauze on one side of my nose, and goes, pop. He did not explain that pop was going to be that painful. I slid my butt 2/3 of the way down this chair. I am basically hanging off the end of his chair. And I'm looking at him like, I cannot say. I repeat a lot of things, right? I don't have the cleanest language, but what I made up at that moment was probably one of the tops. That was so painful. Broke out into a sweat, and I'm just like, get away from me, Satan. Yeah, right? And but it's over, and I'm breathing. My nose is bleeding. I'm holding it, trying to stop the blood. And he gives me some gauze, hold up there. And then I realize, Bob, you have 2 nostrils. He still has to get the gauze out of the other side. I force myself, hands gripped hard on the chair. I lean back and I'm doing everything I can to keep myself in that chair. And he reaches up and I'm just like, go ahead, catch my nose, catch it. No, boom, boom, gets hold of it and just no warning, just, as soon as he gets the little clamps up there, he just boom, pops it out. And I'm cussing out a storm. I am, tears are coming down my eyes, blood's coming out of my nose. It was a wonderful time. And it was pretty serious. So, okay. Well, he ended up, there's the splints are up in my nose. And he, goes up there and they're sutured in. And it's actually just one suture holding them both together. And he snips it. And I'm like, okay, so far, so good. Right? Nothing could be worse than that. Well, yeah, it's a big splint up my nose. This is going to hurt. I crank down again. I'm holding my head still. And he gets a hold of the thing, goes pop. And I'm like, that didn't hurt. And then I look at him and he's holding this plastic disc that's like the size of a silver dollar. That was up my nose. What? Where was that? Is that like a magic trick? Pull a coin out of your ear. No, he pulled a silver dollar out of my nose. He explains it's soft, it's flimsy. The whole idea is that it goes in there and it just kind of keeps everything open and holds the inside, of the bridge. It's all been broken and put back together. And I said, "Oh, that's cool." He gets the other one out. I'm okay with that. Who would have thought the gauze, soft, supple gauze, would be, harder than pulling out, the splint itself? Oh well. That's Bob. A week later, I go back in. He comes up and he has the no more gauze, no more of that. I'm still wearing that stupid little bandage holder. But he taking a look. My face is looking good. He says, "You've healed pretty good. Let's just, I'll clean you out one more time. Like an infant. You take the little sucker and suck it out. Well, he sucks out some stuff, but he can't get it all out. So he gets his little plier things. He gets up in there and he's digging out hard, crusty stuff. And I'm just like, oh, this is so, one, embarrassing, and two, it ain't comfortable. And he gets a hold of something and he starts pulling and he starts pulling and it comes out. And now I can see it gripped by the tongs and I can feel it coming out my nose. He keeps going full arm's length out. I'm like, is it alive? What is it? That's about the time one of the nurses is walking past our room. She stops, turns, looks back in the door, because he's got this huge thing. He gets a pair of gauze, grabs it, and keeps pulling. I feel like it's coming out of the back of my skull. This is brain matter or something, but it finally pops out and I can breathe. He does the other side. It's not near as bad. And it did work, and I breathed really good until I got into karate and started getting my nose broken again. Outside of that, it was a good job. 2006, had a discectomy right here. Lost feeling in my arms, lost feeling in my legs, all through end of 05 and into the beginning of 06. Come to find out, my spine through my neck is falling apart. So they've got in there titanium and silicone and silica all shoved up in there. They've sort of rebuilt. At one point I had a halo bolted to the table, bolted to my head. Of course, I'm out for all this. My body's strapped down to the table so I don't move. And they've got me all cut open and they're playing with, my spine. It's good surgery. I went from not being able to walk and scared about being in a wheelchair for the rest of my life to back to being Bob. That was a good surgery. After that, in 06, still in 06, I'm back. I'm getting back to walking. I'm off the walker. I'm off the cane pretty much most of the time, but my right leg keeps kicking out on me. It hurts and then just can't hold my weight. Go back to the doctor. You know something? Remember when you kicked that tank back in basic training? Well, I did damage to my knee, but my neck had been blocking the pain because I was losing feeling in all my extremities. When they fixed this, and I started getting that feeling back, bingo, my knee said, oh, by the way, I'm down here. So we had another surgery. 06 was a lot of downtime for Bob. Meniscus all torn up. They went in, cleaned it all out. Another good job. Does my knee still kick out from time to time? Yeah, but it doesn't hurt. So, good trade-off. All right. 2012. 2 surgeries on my right elbow, 1 surgery on my left elbow. Why? Why were you getting those, Bob? Well, could be that hanging off the side of mountains, running through old mine shafts. I've done some stuff to my body, and I had nerve damage down on both sides. They got it all good the first time on the left elbow, but it took 2 shots, 2 different surgeries to fix the right. Once again, choices I've made in the past coming back to me. After that, I started in actually about 2020. I started having a little bit of pain in my lower back. Started getting a little numbness. And we figured, well, I was already working off of, I damaged my foot and I had to wear a boot for a long time to get the get the damage to kind of clear up. I had exercises and stuff. It wasn't a surgery, but I was concentrated on that for a while. And by the time that got done, I'm realizing my back's hurting, my legs are starting to hurt. So I go see a doctor, And he does a couple of shots, right? Numb out the spine. Supposed to help me out. And never really took. So he went in and did an ablation, which is where they burn the ends of your nerves. That didn't work too well either. So now I go back to see another doctor. This guy wasn't doing me good, and I get in with Dr. Hogan. Dr. Hogan is a surgeon, but he's going to try some more shots. I go, tried shots. He goes, well, let me give it one shot. One good shot. Now I'm talking months and months and months, no pain. And he's saying, well, if you get 2 to 3 months, that's good. Every month after that is gravy. When you don't get more than 3 months, if you cannot get 3 months consecutively, you do a shot, can't get 3 months, do a shot, can't get 3 months, then we're talking surgery. I said, great, right? I can play with this game because I don't want the surgery. I want to push it down. Well, that was in 21. And then later in 21, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. That was in 24. In between the oblation of 21, a couple of weeks out from that, in fact, I had a infarction, which most of the time that's called a heart attack. You get a blood clot hit your heart. I didn't have one hit my heart. It hit my kidney. So getting out of the car one day in a parking lot, I just take one step, boom, I am not moving anymore. It just like instant, like someone come up and stabbed me with a spear and was sitting there twisting it. 1 second, Bob normal. Next second, Bob is gone. My wife takes me to the ER, and they're checking me in. And he goes, where's the pain? I go, it's here and it's going to here and blah, blah, blah. He goes, sounds like kidney stones. Well, can we get the doctor to look at it? Okay, but it's just kidney stones. Doctor comes in, hey, I understand you're having kidney stones. Well, let's take a look. Well, he does all the stuff, does the MRIs, the X-ray, whatever he's going to do, and comes back 3 hours later, more concerned in the fact that he never had a COVID shot. And he's more concerned about that than the fact that, oh, you just had kidney stones. Well, I'm now hopped up on morphine for the pain. And he sends me home. Okay, I walk out. Week later, getting ready to go to my granddaughter's birthday party. I'm walking through the living room. And we're talking minutes before we get in the car. And I just all of a sudden, just like, I'm on the floor again. Pain. Absolutely insane. My wife picks me up. This is I believe it was like a Saturday or a Sunday. And so we say, hey, let's go to one of these emergency clinic type places. We got several of them around town. And the first one you can't get into unless you have an appointment. It's an emergency private ER. I mean, why? Okay. So we go to the next one, and they can see me, but it's going to be hours wait because they are packed. And we're almost back to the hospital anyway, so Linda drives me over. We go back to the ER, and this time I don't get the doctor. I get the physician's assistant, which suits me well. I like physician's assistants. She goes, well, I guess it's not kidney stones, looking at the chart. And it took her 7 hours, but she found it. I had a blood clot in my kidney. Now, your main artery goes into your kidney, gets a blood clot, you lose a kidney. And I'm thinking, holy crap, did I just lose a kidney? And she goes, no, you only lost about 20%. And I go, okay, do the math. I got one artery goes in, gets a blood clot. I should lose the whole kidney. How am I losing only 20%? Well, funny, Mr. Reynolds. On your right side, you have a kidney, and it's got a big artery going into it. On your left side, you've got a kidney, and you got 2 arteries going into that. Okay. Does everybody have 2 arteries? No, just you. So the weird parts about Bob, one, I have 2 arteries going into my left kidney, and one of those arteries got clogged. but the other artery was providing enough blood to keep most of the kidney alive. So I am sand 20% on my left side. And she said, yeah, okay, that's just what it is. It's still saw a bunch of specialists and had that fun. But okay. Then I went over to Hogan and had the injections that worked really good. After that, we went on a big adventure with my oldest son and his family, and that will be another podcast. But when we got back from it, we're down in Houston, and my wife and I are going to drive up the next day. We're going out to dinner that night, and I'm like, on the couch, all right, it's time to get up. But man, my side is, it's actually back dead center. My back's killing me. It's going down my legs. It's, I try to stand up and it's just not happening, and it hurts, and it's breathing is hurting. So we're all meeting family that's from out of town on the other side of Houston for dinner. And I look at Linda and I said, go. I'm not going. I'm going to sit here. And 3 hours later, that's where they found me, was in a dining room chair, still sitting in the same spot because it hurt so bad to breathe. I didn't want to move. So the next morning we get up, go to an ER there. Obviously we don't live there in Houston. They just got to get me back to Oklahoma. They popped me up with a lot more drugs. Morphine pill this time. Don't worry, I'm not driving. And Linda drives us home. 2 days later, I'm at the ER in Oklahoma, back home. And they get us scheduled up to a pain management. We actually did all the final work through our chiropractor, and they pulled the strings to get us in quickly. And they've given me 3 or 4 shots, three shots in the spine, different spots. Some of it has helped a little bit, but the pain in my back and shooting down my legs has just gotten worse. So what does that mean? Well, Bob, think about all your life choices. What you've chose to do for fun and adventures is now coming home to roost. So if you think having a whole bunch of exciting adventures, well, you should. It's life. But don't be stupid about it, because you pay later. I'm now going to get another MRI, and I'm heading in for another surgery to try to... You can't fix stupid, but you can help a spine, and they're going to try to do some good help so that I can avoid bigger surgeries. Then the longer I can put off the bigger surgeries, the more I can regret some of my life decisions. Telling my stories for you, that's not a bad thing. I enjoy it a lot. This has been a little bit of a long journey, but surgeries for Bob. So, yeah, we'll call it quits here. So, have a good break. Finish off your coffee. And now get back to work and make good choices. You can still have fun, but don't be an idiot.